What's going on, guys, and welcome back to another edition of the Club 33 podcast here with Sky High Fan, my juice box, and yours truly, DSG. And what's up, guys? How you guys doing? How has the last 2 weeks treated you, DSA Juice?
Hey, it's been going well. How about you?
Okay, I'm doing okay.
It's
Gotten
been Hercastic.
a little bit more spending than I'd like to admit or want to do. Gems wise, not dollars wise, gems wise, all from your good friends over there at Tapjoy. So, Sky, how has your 2 weeks been since the last podcast?
My club's been getting pounded in conquest by juices, but other than that, we're chilling.
I've
Accurate statement, but at least I can say that one time. You've
Right.
been on the other end for a while now.
No, like this week we got destroyed by Exception because like we were playing Exception.
You're so good.
Italian
You're
Legends.
so good.
And us. No, the Italian Legends didn't put a single defense down, or they think they did like two towers,
They do that.
and then Exception just took over, like because they're fast. I was like, we're like, oh shit.
Mhm.
Whenever I
Like,
think of Exception, I think of all 50 club members in a warehouse. They're all grouped up, sitting at tables like, now, we attack now. And they're all just working together and coordinating. And it's just like high level battle. It's
no, like, well, it's kind of funny how he got this. It's like I guess like they're the club. They're probably good people and everything like that, but they seem to be the club that everyone does not want to face in Club Conquest. That I've heard, at
Yeah.
least around our like summer score, club
Mhm.
power. They've been
25, 15 range.
Mm-hmm. And like even in my club, we were talking about it, and we're like, they're like the kid who like tries to do like over the top things at school, like just scream in the middle of the hallway or like pull the fire alarm or just something like they'll do. They're the ones who like try to do something really like obnoxious just to get your attention, and that's pretty much what we think exceptions like. So yeah, that's been a big topic as well in our club. But it looks like this week has been freaking crazy. This last week and a half, 2 weeks have been freaking crazy. We've gotten Hercules, we got the fireside chat, and we've gotten a lot of information just like literally an hour ago as well, from the devs. So we're gonna start talking about this, guys. And the first thing we're gonna talk about in recap is the fireside chat. So if you guys don't remember, which I don't think you guys are gonna forget that was about like a week ago, and that was with Meathead and two other individuals from Glue and the dev team, and they basically obviously went over on Cozy's channel and really discuss what happened, what they're planning to do in the future, and we're just gonna go through our thoughts of that. So Sky, if you want to take this one first, go ahead, man.
Yeah, there was a lot of info they dumped. Some of it more concrete than others. Right, that's the first time we found out anything about Ray and the Last Dragon coming. They discussed changes to Club Conquest, where that's gonna move towards a 1v1, and then they had some they had some brief information on a brief, I'll say vague information about how they intend to change Club Dungeon to more of an if anyone's familiar with an MSF style raid situation. Dragon, you're probably a bit more familiar with me. There's a lot more packed in there that I'm kind of blanking on right now.
Me, like, I mean, I remember some cool things, but man, I mean, they did say, they said a lot, but they didn't say a lot at the same time, if you guys know what I mean.
Agree. Yeah.
So, when I was listening to it, it was pretty funny actually watching chat, because people were, were obviously trying to get their questions asked, and some of the fellow content creators, we were kind of like banding together to ask some, I guess, like more hardball questions. I'm not saying that everything that they were asked were softball questions, but it was, they really tiptoed around things. But I will say they did say things that I was surprised that they actually did. First off, like what Sky said, showing off some concept art of Ryan the Last Dragon, and that type of stuff you really don't see too often unless you kind of go more behind the scenes off camera and stuff like that. But they were pretty open about that and even got the okay to show off that type of art. So I thought that was really, really cool, and it really made me happy to see that. And one of the big things that kind of shocked me was when they talked about Club Conquest and how they're going to change that to 1v1 possibly in the future, and also bring in like the special defensive, I don't know what you call it, like boss basically. And it kind of made it sound like they're going to implement some type of towers of endurance mechanism, I believe, in Club Dungeon. If I'm correct, I could be wrong, something like that. So that was another thing cool to hear about. I think one of the big topics I also talked about was like, the character releases and how they're pretty fast. I mean, we know that like in this year alone, we've gotten Rapunzel, we've gotten Herc, and I feel like we got another character here or there that I just can't remember off the top of my head. But for, the first 2 months, we've already gotten close to 10 characters total. And for most people, that's a lot. I mean, actually, no, we did, because if you get the
And we
entire
have
Hercules
10.
team, you take the Rapunzel team, and I feel like we're missing one character
Gotham.
there.
Mother
Oh,
Gotham makes 10.
and Mother Gothel makes 10. So, in not even 2 months, they're already at 10 characters. And I did like a prediction for 2021, and I'm hitting it right on the button. I was like, they're gonna, by the time of their anniversary, which is the like around the end of quarter 1 of the year, they're gonna have about 15 characters, and we're right at there. And it looks like in the next month, I guarantee you, there's gonna be a big character release, something like that, in March, whether that's a new legendary or some type of other, tower event. I would say I can guarantee that without a doubt, that they're going to at least drop some type of new character next month for sure. And one thing that I kind of wish they talked about more was the gear grind, because they were tiptoeing around the abilities and how that's going to pan out, and how they're trying to implement ways of doing that more. And I think if we saw the patch, which we're going to talk about later, they did talk about updates to challenges, summoners challenges, and so that could be part of that as well.
Mm-hmm.
But in terms of like gear grind, they didn't really talk about that. Gold grind, they didn't really talk about that. But pretty much the hardball questions that we really want them to answer, they didn't, really go in depth about that. Which is, I mean, that's more of a business standpoint. I will say that for them, because if people are still buying gold packs and stuff, that why would they get rid of it? That type of thing. So that's another thing I noticed. But I think from what I remember, that's all I have in my brain right now, because there was a lot.
Mm-hmm.
There was a lot. But Juice, do you have anything that kind of springs in your mind from there?
Yeah, I mean, I felt like at times, like I feel like the devs got a little comfortable, like where they were at. So like, not to say they slipped up a lot, but I remember at one point Meat was like, "You really want to go into that? Like, you want to go into that right now?" Like I remember he said that word for word. I was like, "Oh wow." So maybe they kind of got relaxed a little bit, and maybe said things that they maybe shouldn't have. I mean, a couple things come to mind. Obviously, I think they're trying to push PvP leaderboards somewhat soon. That's
Mm-hmm.
something that they could probably implement very, very soon, if not, within the next month or so. Um, Obviously, they threw out the idea of possibly switching up the exchanges, which I hope they actually do. Question is when. So it's good to hear those, regardless if they actually do it. Yeah, Sky rolls his eyes. Um, you guys talked about the club dungeon format and things like that. I was kind of intrigued on the whole club conquest thing, where they may have had that vision for a 1v1 format. If we were to see that, man, I wouldn't expect to see that for a very long time based on what they're trying to
Yeah.
do. As far as coding goes, game development goes, they have to flip,
Mm-hmm.
they have to reset the whole board if they want to kind of start from scratch with something like that. And then aside from that, yeah, you know, they kind of introduced some of the stuff that may be coming to the game, obviously with the concept art for next month, Ryan the Last Dragon. Who knows when we'll see that? Maybe probably midway through next month, at the end of next month. They didn't hit in any raid content or anything like that, but yeah, it was a lot of content. But I thought the developers were well spoken.
Yes.
The production of the stream was good. There wasn't lagging. They weren't going in and out. I thought the guys were really likable, especially the lead developer. I forget his name, but just really interesting to kind of listen to and hear from. But aside from that, yeah, I mean, there's so much they can only say, and they don't want to get in trouble for saying they're going to do something when it couldn't happen. But overall, I think it was definitely positive compared to like negative.
For sure. And
Mm-hmm.
I think you're talking about Derek. That was like the lead designer, I think is.
Yeah,
And then there's like Jake, who was like, I think just like a head of overall maybe management of the game. And no, Derek, he was like very hesitant about saying almost anything, because didn't want to get in trouble, and I totally understand that. And I thought that was, I think that was really cool to see that he was able to say what he wanted to say, like especially with Club Conquest. I know that was a really, like, you can see like the expression on his face when they actually were able to say that. That was a big thing for them to release. I did just pull up like my notes from the chat, just some
sure.
things we talked about. that we might have not talked about is spells. They want to bring in more like theme park themed spells because uh I mean, Space Mountain, can that really be a character? No, but that could be a spell. So they were talking about like more things like that. They've already had like Big Thunder, Boom and stuff like that. So that could be kind of nice to bring into the
Mhm.
game. They want to bring more like those environments and actually refresh the environments of the game overall, which could be maybe overall overhaul of like the map layout of the main screen, which I think is be pretty cool. But I mean,
Mhm.
overall the environments and graphics of the game are amazing. So I don't
Yeah.
think they have to do too much. But if
Mhm.
for them to take the initiative to say like we got to keep on improving, I think that's really nice on Glue's part to do. Um, they're also considering club adjustments like putting sergeants, so there's no more like rogue co-leaders who have a lot of power. Or if you've ever had that problem before, hopefully not. But last thing on characters, they do want to bring in more like Disney afternoon cartoon characters like Tailspin and Chippendale Rescue Rangers and some Disney park characters like maybe Madame Leota to the game and Tiki Birds maybe. It's a small world characters, who knows what they could bring to the game. Um I think we talked about it already, but basically they're not slowing down with the release of the characters because just the IP that Disney has, if they were to slow down, and they talked about this, it would really make it more difficult to release characters in the long run because if they were to slow down, it would just derail them. And it'd probably take 10 years to get all the characters. So it may feel like a lot of characters right now, but maybe later on it'll slow down if they happen to run out of characters and content, which I highly doubt. So you'll be
And
in this for a while, guys. Don't worry. You can, like they said, farm at your own speed. Collect your characters at your own speed.
The one thing I want to mention as well, and this isn't about content that's being released in the game. I don't know. I guess I'm kind of like a geek about it, but I liked when at least Derek was talking about like stuff that went into the production of the game.
Yeah.
Like stuff like that is always interesting to me. Like he was talking about like animating Shere Khan and how he had to dance or something for Anna's dance or something for the Frozen team.
Yeah.
Just stuff like that leading up to the game is always I just find intriguing. I find interesting, and it's almost like you'd want to see like a documentary or like the behind the scenes of them actually working on the game before it came out. I love before and afters. I love seeing what the game was before it came out. Obviously, the game in beta was significantly different now, but just to see kind of how the game
Mhm.
was looked before it actually is where it's at now.
I don't know if you guys ever watched the Disney Insider clip that they had, but Derek's in there like 75% of the time of the segment. So that was pretty cool. He got to talk a good amount in the game or in the documentary part. But Sky, do you have anything else to add?
Um, yeah, something I think is interesting is recently I was watching videos of the beta of DSA, like that people like SHG have up,
Yeah.
and when the game first came out, there was a leaderboard. There was a PvP leaderboard, and they got rid of it. So it's interesting to me seeing that that's one of the first things they implement, and they took it away. Now they want it back. So that's really interesting to me that they are like going back to what they had before.
Mm-hmm.
That's just something I saw recently that I thought was really interesting. It's like, okay, so you had it, you didn't like it, now you want it. Sure, whatever, go for it.
I really want like club leaderboards like overall like okay, where's this club like power and summoner score combined?
Yeah.
Because I wonder if like you get closer to like the top clubs maybe where they're like 12 million, 11 million, 10 million summoner score total, but then club power may be a little different because summoner score can be inflated a lot, but club power is a different story. So there's like
Yeah.
there's correlation between there, but I think if you were to see the difference, then you can really see like the true power of the club. Say,
Yeah. Well,
but
that's why club power is used for club conquest matchmaking, right? Because they see it as a more accurate representation of someone's collection.
No, I guess my last thought was be like I know I mean, I would hope that we could have more. The devs could come on more if they're comfortable doing some of those type of things, and if I had a show where if they wanted to come on or DSG wanted to have them on, I mean that'd be cool to be able to talk to them more and kind of find out
yeah,
what's going on in the game and understand, getting them more familiar with the Twitch community for sure.
totally. I definitely want to see that happen, but time will tell if that'll happen, of course. But our next topic is actually today's patch notes, and we can go into last week's patch notes a little bit too, but today's patch notes is like just an avalanche of just R2. It's just to put my
Pretty good,
mind around
honestly.
everything. I'm just
Pretty
like, oh
good.
my
I like
gosh,
it.
there's a lot. I'm just peeking at last week's content update, and basically, it just said that not Zeus, but Hercules has come to the game, so we obviously knew that. We've obviously experienced that already. But this week's content update is, man, you can go like literally line by line here and find something. So I think the first thing I want to talk about, this is the new challenge tiers have been added. So our assumption is, and Sky and I were talking before this, was that they're going to be the summoners challenges. So maybe there's going to be another set. So now instead of what, like is it 6, there's like like the 7th tier. So we'll probably hopefully see that, and maybe that includes, Sky was talking about he wants to see essences included into there.
Heck yeah. T7 materials, baby.
I want more gammas. I want more gold. I
Yeah.
want more droplets, specifically health droplets. Health, speed, or wind, I guess is what it's called, and the fire or offense droplets. Those are the 3 that I really want to see more drops of, and even like those silver wispy droplets. Those could be put
Very
in there a
good.
little
Yeah.
bit more too.
I mean, right, if we add another tier, we're looking at just another increase, probably similar, if not a bigger increase from the last. If you look at the second best to the best one right now, right?
Yeah.
That means more resources. It's just a good thing for everyone who plays it, even if you can't get to the top tier yet, because you'll get there eventually.
Yeah, I mean, I'm in lockstep with you. I think anything is better than what we have, obviously. So if it's something new, it's something good. The only thing I'm thinking about is obviously, based on the current summoner challenges, like there's chance to pull so many runes or things like that. I'm hoping that if it's something like gear, there isn't a large pool of different essences and things like that. So it's like super,
Yeah.
super RNG heavy. But if they include all the essences, I know, what if you just pull tons of seeds every week or something like that? That could kind of get frustrating. But like I said, if it's if they are including stuff like essence in there, I really can't complain. It would just be unfortunate if you start pulling the same stuff over and over again. But I'm hoping it's a pretty good pull too. So essences, upgrade runes, gold for sure. Yeah, I don't think there'd be any other like currency in the exchange or things like that. So yeah, new stuff's always good.
We were like talking about like it should only be like hexing, boarding, and health essences. Like those should be the only ones in there. Bursting.
Health, defense, offense, please. Thank you.
They should just get rid of seed and shadow and all kind of stuff. We don't need that in there. We get enough of those through raids. This one is cool. Follow the leader. So what do you guys think about follow the leader?
Right, yeah, it's Peter Pan. It's Peter Pan coming. This is similar to what She Knows Best. They said before the Mother Knows Best event, right? It's very reminiscent of that. So it's some type of Peter Pan event or a Lost Boy event is how I'm seeing it.
That's what I totally saw. Like I talked about this in my club. I was like, I just sent them like a GIF of Peter Pan flying, and I was like, this has to be it. And then someone was like, what if it's like something like not very important? It's just like they change the leadership of the club. So I was like, well, then very anticlimactic. Because I definitely think it's gonna be Peter Pan, hands down. Whether that's this week or next week, it's like a tower or something like that. That's my guess on it. What about you, Juice?
So last time we looked at something very simple on this podcast and made a big prediction. I was so drastically wrong and out there. I don't know if I'm going to make the right call for this. Look, I agree that it could be Peter Pan. I think you analyzed the wording the right way. Could be that for sure. However, when we looked at dynamic duos, I thought it was co-op PvP, and it turned out to be a gem bundle in the store. So it could be something that we're completely looking over. It could just be a bundle, or it could be something, just a short little thing, or a token, or it could be a talisman, or something like a spooky coin format. I don't know. We'll see. But yeah, I guess it could be led to believe if it's Peter Pan. We know we saw Peter Pan all over the surveys back last year.
Yeah.
Smee. We have Captain Hook already. We saw Wendy too in the surveys too. So I don't know if they're gonna. With Raya coming out next month, I'm not sure if it could be Peter Pan. It may be a little bit too soon based on characters that are coming out. But yeah, maybe it's a short little event. Maybe it's something that we're not thinking about. But yeah, I'd be completely not surprised if it was that. But if it was something very, very minimalistic and simple, we've learned our lesson from last time we did the podcast, or 2 weeks ago.
Yeah, and I mean, talking about the dynamic duos, it could possibly be like maybe they're changing leadership overhauls in the game,
Ooh.
possibly, or it could be like they're only doing bundles for leaders or leader characters with leadership, because that's what they kind of did dynamic duos. So I just thought that one like really just popped out to me overall. But guys, you have another comment about this?
It's interesting that the word "the" is capitalized.
The leader.
It's just interesting. Yeah, it's the THE all capitalized. Don't know what they're trying to say there, but they're trying to say something.
They're trying to say Peter Pan's coming to the game.
I don't know, because Peter Pan actually isn't in that scene of the film. So the Lost Boys.
Mm-hmm.
And what John, Michael, I don't think Wendy's there. I think Wendy's with Pete in that scene. So interesting
wording.
wording.
Lost Boys. But could you imagine if they brought like the entire like Lost Boys and everything? How many characters that would be? That'd be freaking insane. It would have to be like, I feel like what they would have to do is like bring, Wendy, Michael, and who's the other one? And Peter, John, and Peter Pan, and well, Tink's already in the game, so we need those four, make them and Tink together. But my thing is, think about this: would you put Peter Pan as oceanic or mythical, and then would you put Wendy, John, and Michael as downtown because they do live in London, or would you put them in a different tag? That's like something just sprung up in my mind right now.
Yeah, well, Peter Pan can also be Wilds.
He could be Wilds, that's true.
So he could be put so many places, dude. And I think he's oceanic for one reason, and that's the reason that Peter's shadow is oceanic.
That's true.
Right? Peter's shadow, the spell is oceanic, so I think that Peter Pan would be oceanic.
Yeah, it would be.
Oh, at least maybe that'd be a good oceanic lead, possibly, too. Think about it. Looking at more of this week's news drop. So Passport is going to be Minnie Mouse and Sensational 6 coming back. Not a surprise whatsoever. But this is part 1, so if you guys got derailed farming for Sensational 6 with the whole Hercules event, this will give you time to farm these guys, so hopefully you guys can catch up.
Yeah, get your Daisy and your Goofy up, because those are the characters that are required for the different parts of Sensational 6 Part 1.
Yes.
So your Mickey friends, your Ducks, but then also specifically Daisy and Goofy, since those will help you in the second and third nodes of that event.
And then 227 is going to be the gift drop event, which I have no clue what that is. March 1st is going to be a token double drop, which
I think I know what the gift drop event is. I think it's 2-player PvP.
The 2-player PvP bundle.
It's 2-player PvP, guys.
Wait, by the way, hold on, Dragon. Do you think this is the first time patch notes I feel like have been very specific date-wise? Do you think, based on the feedback that during the fireside chat, because I remember a question was asked of like, could we find out a little bit more of like what's coming ahead? And obviously the devs kind of gave a vague answer about it, but do you think they're kind of like trying to be a little bit more specific now after that? Seems like the first time we've seen stuff like that.
I think this is a good example of them, my opinion, that they're starting to try and listen and implement change.
Let's see what's there. Yeah, two token drop event. I assume that's like hard nodes, and that's going to be the 1st of March. Cool. Hades and Yoda Potion, high value special offer. I don't know what high value means.
A high value doesn't mean high efficiency.
Logically, this value is probably going to suck because Hades in it, and Hades you can get for free by buying them at the Sorcerer's Tournament Exchange.
Yeah.
Right? So it's probably, even if it's a really good value, it's probably just not good enough because of how low value Hades tokens are. And then Hercules Mythical. Oh, what were you saying?
I was thinking, imagine like the double drop become like campaign chests, like token drops, or
right.
Those are considered
token
tokens,
exchange coins. What it does?
Oh, you're talking about swinging my Steamboat Mickey? Hell yes, I want my Steamboat Mickey.
It just says token. It could be any token within the game.
I'm so bad. Like, so I found out how much you need to get like a 7-star Steamboat Mickey. You need 49,000 token exchanges for that. So
Why I stopped buying Mickey?
that's a lot. And I was like, man, watch them freaking make him farmable one day. I'm gonna freaking regret it.
They had packs of him too, so they've already devalued his value.
True, but I don't want to
I
buy
remember
it.
that.
I
Exactly.
only do
But
chapter.
it's better to buy those for 800 and use the token exchange currency on gear
Mhm.
than use gems to farm gear and then use the token exchange currency on Mickey. That's how overly priced Mickey is in that exchange.
Yeah.
I just really want Mickey. But I think the biggest thing here is going to be the old like villain that we all went for at the beginning of the game, which was Hades, getting a major refresh, and now has really good synergy with Pain and Panic, and also a rework for Mortal Potion. So, Juice, did you get into this a lot? Because I know Sky did. Sky did this homework 5 minutes ago.
Yeah, I mean, we looked at the patch notes, went live as like what 10 or 15 minutes after I went live on stream, which is convenient. I mean, we looked at them. I guess here are my initial thoughts. Like, first of all, to anyone that's saying Hades is like meta now, I would definitely hold off. The amount of gear Hades requires to take to get him to G7 and G8 is an insane investment. So you got to make sure you know what you're doing before you do that. Like I usually say, just wait for other content creators to do it, and if it seems like it's worth it, then go for it. As far as kind of the rework goes, I definitely like the stuff we're seeing on his passive, getting those undefeatables, and then possibly if you are maybe running something like Golden Hammer with Mortal Potion, if Hades dies, you bring him back to life. He's still empowered. He's doing a ton of damage, and he's hitting that combust, that AOE combust, automatically now, which is good. As far as the continuous damage stuff goes, I'm really not too high on it, just because continuous damage isn't really going to land anymore in this meta. We have the Hercules team flipping debuffs. Baymax is cleansing everything right now. Who else? You can't even put debuffs on Beast pretty much, or Bell. So I don't really care too much about the continuous damage. Not sure how the villain stuff is going to work with PNP, potentially Ursula, some type of villains team. It's good to see the rework though. But as far as me, I have Hades at 7-star gear or gear tier 6. I got him just up for Stitch Tower. I'm holding put before I make any investment there, because we looked it up. Hades has 14 cloths required for gear tier 7. I don't even know what gear tier 8 is, and you need to make sure you know what you're doing unless you have an abundance of gear. But I just spent all mine this past week. So cool rework. Really not sure. I'm going to wait and hold off and see what's going on before we even look at that. But yeah, you probably have some more insights than me.
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, so I kind of just went through the kit and went through the old kit and the changes and what really is happening to it. So I just kind of wanted to go over that kind of as briefly as I could. So the basic is changing. It used to have a 50% chance while empowered to apply continuous damage, and now it always has that chance, right? So you're not having to rely on the powered, and you're not having to rely on the percent chance. So pretty good just for a basic, right? So they kind of flipped it in the patch notes, making it very confusing. Special A in the patch notes is the second special on his kit. So I'm going to just call them by their names because it's kind of confusing. So the first special on the kit, which is called Special B, Combust. This is where I'm a little confused. It says immediately evaluate all continuous damage effects. And I don't know if that means it was trying to say something like how Demona puts in, like, activates continuous damage effects. I don't know if that's just saying it's trying to apply them. I'm a little confused on this. It's definitely a little bit of a misstep on just the communication. Not a huge deal, though. The first special activates Pain and Panic's passive, which is We Are Ranged, regardless of magic. And what We Are Ranged does is Pain and Panic gains stealth for 1 turn, and they grant 1 helpful effects to all villain teammates, which is pretty cool. It's basically think Infinity Sided die, but only the positive effects. You're just getting that every time you use his first special, Combust. And then the second special, which is Scorched Earth, Hades, he used to gain one counter while empowered, and now he always gains one counter per mythical villain. So if you're running Hades, you're gonna run it with Pain and Panic. So you're getting, it's basically, unless there will be some other good mythical villains, it's just you're always getting one, unless Pain and Panic are dead. And then while empowered, this it now purges one helpful effect, and that's a flanking purge, which is pretty nuts. You do have to get empowered, which is right either falling below 60% or when I think they look dashing from Pain and Panic activates. And just if you didn't know, that passive from Pain and Panic is when Pain and Panic's transformation ends, an opponent's stasis ends, or a villain teammate is defeated. They have a 50% or 65 at gear 8 to gain evasion, and then empower Hades. And if Hades is already empowered, he gets to combust for free, regardless of magic. So I do think he has a lot of potential. I'll go over his passive real quick, and I'll just kind of say what I'm thinking about for him. And his passive is, so yeah, you gain undefeatable when empowered now, and if you are already empowered from Pain and Panic's passive, when you become empowered, you now get to combust for free again, regardless of magic. And then this one is one where I'm a little unsure of because they give us an X, but it's on turn start. If empowered, X% chance per villain teammate to gain undefeatable up to a max of 3. So this, along with, I think it's a pretty big buff, because I think the meta is past a character like Hades, in essence, but the character isn't past Hades with Pain and Panic support. I think there's potential there, and I think he'll probably become like an A-tier character with Pain and Panic, where he's very usable meta. That's kind of where I'm feeling about all this, but I could be wrong in either direction.
Yeah, I was just gonna add really quick, like the I haven't seen any gameplay with Hades at G8 yet, so I'd have to see that first. But I'm just curious about how is damage output with Hades with the level 3 offense stone. Like, can he combust and do like go AoE damage? Like, if it's not anywhere compared to that, then it's kind of out for me. Like,
He can play at like 4 or 5k.
okay, so I mean,
Continuous damage.
yeah. I'm just thinking about the team in general. Like, I think this rework could be kind of like a cute, like, hey, this team is kind of fun. It's kind of good, but I don't expect it to be top tier. Like, they didn't release Hercules to have this villains Pain and Panic Hades team to beat that. There's no way that's going to happen. So yeah, it could have some fun synergies. And like I said, if I'm completely wrong and it happens, then I'll take it. But just kind of looking at it right now, it could be some type of like, Pain and Panic and Hades could be some type of like, obviously it's a tough comparison. It could be like a Darkwing Duck Gizmo Duck interaction where both characters have a lot of involvement with each other. Where there's a lot of like weird stuff going back and forth. It never really became a thing. So I don't know. If the damage output's high, then I think it could be worth it, but I wouldn't expect it.
I consider this more similar to how Gizmo Duck and Scrooge were when Gizmo first came out.
Sure.
Where they were a very good part of the meta for a very short time. That's one of the vibes I'm getting, I think. Because I think this does have potential to be really strong, just because you're getting, like, yes, it's only 4 or 5k damage when he's maxed out, but that's out of turn, He's getting to attack constantly out of turn, or you're having to target him. So if you're able to protect him, I think it has some potential.
I'm just pumped that he's finally getting some type of rework, and that hopefully he can become more usable, and also that Mortal Potion refresh is looking pretty nice too. So I think I don't know if this is true or not, but I think this is the first spell that I can think or remember that is actually getting a buff. At least like wait, Sky's shaking his head.
Zap got buffed.
Oh, Zap got buffed. What was it got higher damage, right? Isn't that what they
It
did?
ignores Oceanic defense. It was a very small buff, but it did get a buff. And there's also been, I'm not going to get into if the hammer nerf was a buff or not. I'm not gonna get into that.
Okay. I can see that. I can see that. I would say it's a buff because then it's like no more unlimited hammer, but just me because old hammer was
It's
so annoying.
close.
Oh my gosh, old
It
hammer was
was so
so
annoying, but 50% health is so broken. It's
is it
so
level
broken.
4.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's this week's news update or content update. I was kind of hoping that the Zerg event was coming back, but because we haven't seen that for a long time. I think October. I mean,
Yeah.
we're almost at like 120 days since the
Uh,
last Zerg event, so um yeah,
yeah.
I don't know if that event doesn't exist anymore or what the case may be, but yeah, it's still having to evade this week's patch notes, so we'll have to wait and see till they come around. But I guess like one thing I want to ask before we move on to the next segment is how's your guys' Hercules farming going?
Good. I mean, I'm taking advantage of double drops without spending too much resources on it. Um, I'll Hercules the second run, but I'll probably have all the characters through a star by the end of it. Nothing crazy.
Mm-hmm. What about you, Juice?
Pretty much non-existent. I think my Hermes is my highest character. I think he's at like 15 or 20 out of 100. So I was farming him all through like before the Hercules event got released. I don't think I have any other characters unlocked. Ultimately, I made a decision of like, do I want to whale on the event or something like that? I decided to, with all the upgrade runes and all the gear that I've accumulated over like the month and a half, I went all in on Ursula, hoping to get her to G8 probably tomorrow or something, and then we'll eventually get them eventually. So based on the current characters I had and what my spending I wanted to do, I didn't want to spend much. So yeah, it looks like I'll probably farm Hercules over like Sensational Six most likely. I'll probably Hercules
Yeah.
probably over. I'm still debating the Beauty and the Beast stuff. I'm sure Sky, you could probably give a better input on that. But after the Hercules event ends, and once I get Ursula to gear tier, I'm gonna experiment with a different team. If we get into that later, I'll talk about it. But yeah, very much non-existent.
That's good. I
It's hard
mean,
to spend because like obviously with the double gear we had double gear drops this week too, and it's like, do I spend my energy on energy refreshes on character tokens, or I get the gear? And it's like I had to assess what the best option for me at that time was, and that's the route I went.
I I had the same problem. At least one day it was Meg, so like it like didn't interfere too much. But I also got a piece for Beast. I was able to get a kingdom piece for Beast, so now he's like the entire right side, so the three pieces on the right side are complete, but the whole left side is still blank. So that's like a 7.5 plus Beast, basically, and that was I was pretty happy about that. Um, I have to admit though, when the event came around, I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna oil out. I'm not gonna do anything. And then I saw the characters. Then, well, all went downhill. I almost have him at 6 stars. Shit. Oh my gosh. Oh, man, decisions were made. May not be the best decisions, but man, he looks great. That's all I can say. He's
Juice
looking
is
great.
insane. He's so good.
Oh, I'm sorry, I hate to say that. I will say I have to critique it a little bit, and I know some other people were talking about this. I think on my stream before. Phil and Hercules need a little art rework. They're just
It's gross,
they look a
dude.
little off. Like Phil really looks off. His eyes are so off. Hercules
No, and
like
there's a line in his skin.
yeah. And then like
There's a line in his skin for no reason.
it's yeah. And then like Hercules,
He's the heat miser.
I just thought Hercules would be a little bit more, a little more stocky. I don't know if you guys would say that, but I saw it'd be a little more buffed.
Honestly, I don't think Herc's great, but I don't think he's anywhere near the atrocity that is Phil.
Phil's a when I look at him, I get scared. Like if I was a child, like I'm talking like 5 years old, and then my parents said like, "Oh, here, look what came into the game," I would start crying and have a nightmare because like that does not look like Phil from the movie. That is, his eyes are staring at me and going to my soul and saying bad things to me, and I'm not happy about that. That's my thing on Phil. Sorry, I had to deep dive into that, but that was just me. You got something to say?
Jerry, let me ask you this really quick. So, like, obviously, based on what you've spent gem-wise on the characters, like, are you looking to get them like maxed by the end of this event? Or are you looking to whale to like get them set up for the next pass?
You know, I'm a person who just jumps into things and does not really think it until I'm like, 6 feet underwater. And
Mm-hmm.
basically, I
Don't look
realized
down, by the way. Look up when you
the,
talk. You're looking down.
sorry. I want to look at the camera. Okay. So basically, I realize the best I can do is a gear tier 6 or 7 star or 6 star, 6 star.
Got
Six
it.
star Herc, because that gear crap is gonna take forever.
I know.
Unless there
Is
was,
rough.
if the onward event was here, different story. Because the thing holding me back is those health pieces. So
Yeah.
if the onward event was here, I could do it. But the good part is, guys, and I think you'd be proud about me. I have not bought a gem pack. Is
Yay.
all my hoarded gems from Tapjoy. So I got like the stickers, right? Well, I haven't opened the package yet, but I got Liquid Death stickers.
I got
Opening
like 4
it live
sets
on
of
stream.
those.
So I'm in Liquid
Wow.
Death stickers. Just open that live on stream. Got 6,000 gems. And still have, I think some of those gems still from Olay, but yeah, gems wise, I think I went from like 45,000 to 25,000.
Yeah, my
Yeah.
biggest issue when it came to like the way like whaling on the event, the reason why I decided because like look, if a 6-star Herc like gear tier 7 is not playable. It's not playable for me like where I'm at right now. So the thing
Yeah.
is like the why I made the decision not to whale. Like you're close, Dragon. Like you'll get him soon. One, the gold grind. Like if I need to get all those characters leveled up, that's like, all those characters to level 70. You don't have to push them that far, but that's easily over. I'm almost 25 million gold there just to get characters leveled up. Gear, like for me, like Herc has to be G8 or G7 or at least
Oh yeah.
G7.5 or 8, and then 7 star. So I thought about, yeah, I could get all the characters to 7 star, but I'm like, oh my god, the gear. Like I'm thinking the gold to get them leveled up. It just the cost kept accumulating. I'm just like,
Yeah.
nope, let's go down
It's
the Ursula path and let's work on her. And I'm like super happy of what I've done. So
I honestly should have gone down the Stitch Ursula path because at least eventually I would have they would benefit me too, as
yeah, it's a
well.
long-term play.
Oh yeah, but like with Herc, I mean, if I give him to 6 stars, he's viable. The only problem is he has to be gear tier 8. There's like no like I can get away with him at gear tier 7, gear tier 6. He's gonna be just push him aside. He has to be 7 or 8. And luckily, I'm not competing with any other character in Mythicals for gear tier 8, so he's gonna be my guy. He's gonna be my Mythicals gear tier 8, and for some reason, I have just a crap ton of Mythicals gear stuff, so I'm like prepared for him per se. So yeah, as long as the raids keep on going and I can hoard some stuff, I should be good. I also have a lot of downtown villain stuff gears wise, so kind of wish Zerg would come back because that could push towards that. Because as long as I get them to 6 stars and just push them to gear tier 8, they're viable in my opinion. They're viable because like gear tier 8.
Yeah, because I was looking at it today, and so when you get a character up a star, it is a percentage based increase to their stats based on their level and their gear, right? And I couldn't find the exact numbers for certain, but I know at least health-wise, it from 5 to 6 is, I believe it was it's 24% 5 to 6, and then 30% health increase 6 to 7. And that's, I don't know what the offense and defense increases are. They're probably a little less, but maybe they're the same. I just couldn't find the details of it. Want to say something that's not true. So that's really why I've kind of doubled down on 2 things, which is I really I'm not going to go for a legendary if it's not 7 stars. And then the second thing is Ursula must be pretty damn broken if she's as good as she is at 5 stars because her stats are about to skyrocket.
Yep.
The
What I was gonna ask you too, Scott, I don't know if you know, but like, is based on like Herc getting protects all over the place where he's constantly targetable, like via taunt. Like, if he is 6-star G8, can he take a lot of punches? Because you can constantly attack him. He's not like Ursula where you can put him away from a Baymax and she's getting the back and she's protected, so she doesn't take too much hits aside from AOE. But like, is he a little bit squishy compared to like what he should be?
I mean, honestly, I don't have Herc, obviously, and when I have played against Herc, it's always been 7 stars. I have not played against a 6-star Herc.
Okay.
So I'm ready.
Dragon, you know what you got to do.
Yeah, I got a lot of work ahead of me. Fair warning to anyone else who's trying to fail whale. Please don't. Just don't do it. Just
I failed last time on purpose for science to just see how if I felt the gem spending was.
Mm-hmm.
It was okay. It's decent.
Gem spending.
Is your beast done though, Dragon? Do you need to work on were you able to upgrade him stuff? Is he still on the back burner?
Beast is gear tier 7, and he has the 2 warding essence pieces, and he just needs like his other 4 pieces are all exactly the same. So actually my beast is like 7.6, 7.6, not 7.5, 7.6. So
yeah.
He's actually not that bad. He's able to stop. He was able to stop a sensational 6 beast team, which I thought was really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
I think our beasts are at very similar spots. Very similar.
We both got the beast up there, but the rest of that team is more or less garbage except Bell, unfortunately. So that's the only caveat with that team. But yeah, I need to really calm down with the whole legendary farming stuff because it's really fluffing up my summoner score, and then I don't feel like I'm gonna deliver with what my summoner score is. That's the only thing. Like, I don't like fluffing it up too much. But the thing is, when you have to upgrade these characters like to the next star level, it just flups the crap out of your summoner score. So,
it was crazy fluffy.
yes. So it's funny because before Sky was like 15,000 summoner score ahead of me, I think, and now I'm 15,000 summoner score in front of this guy. But pretty sure he can.
I'm up a different legendary team too, so I'm like, when is he upgrading? My Sen 6 are getting up there, so I'm like, what the hell is he upgrading? We're both rolling up a legendary team right now.
I have an entire section of like just unlocked characters. They're literally level 1 gear tier 1. It's a full 20. You know, like the full rows like that. It's a full 20. So yeah, that's where I'm at. That's why it's a little fluffy, because when you unlock these characters, it just kind of fluffs the score up. So not my proudest moments. But do we have any demoralizing questions for me?
That's it, right? Juicy anymore?
Do you guys, is Herc really is he really dependent on gamma upgrades?
Question, not sure.
Because I'm sure you spent a lot of them for Beast, didn't you, Dragon? Are you like dead on gammas?
Oh, I'm out of gammas. Like,
yeah,
non-existent. Yeah. My gosh, I have betas. Fun fact: the best thing you can do, actually, this is Dragon's efficiency tip. Is what you want to do is, you guys, next time the next legendary comes up and you're trying to farm them, I would say go for those grand campaign chests, because in them, like right when they release the legendary events, in those grand campaign chests are going to be the new characters. So one thing that does is it helps you get the gear, gets you some good droplets, and actually get some tier 4 gear, and it really helps you get those strange fibers. I will say that. So if you want to do it, I would say the next time there's a new legendary and it's worth it, because the next legendary may or may not be worth it, you just unlock all or open all those grand campaign chests and loyalty chests, and you will like get your gold up, you'll get everything up, because I hoarded that stuff all the time. I don't know about you guys, but I hoarded that stuff all the time, and then this guy was like, what are you doing? Just freaking open them, because you need to get your beast to gear tier 8. So I was like, okay. So I did it, and there we go.
Stones, and I was like, well, you're gonna get 90 rose thorns on average if you open one of those.
I had like almost 1 million grand campaign chest coins, so yeah. There's Dragon's tip of the century, so there you go. Do you hoard? I mean, Juice, are you a hoarder of the Grand Campaign chests and loyalty chests, or do you open them on the regular?
Nah, I mean I should be, but like, dude, whenever I see the little like one next to the chest in store, I think it's like my 24-hour chest or like my 4-hour chest, and I'm like, damn it! Like I check in, it's like my campaign chest, so I usually open them pretty quick. Yeah, I'm not efficient when it comes to that. It's like an OCD thing, I guess.
I see.
One thing to say about that is, with them adding new challenge tiers, this could be a hint at a gear tier increase that they're making way for, right? Am I wrong? I'm not wrong. So, hoarding campaign chests is a decent idea right now if you want to be really precautious on value.
Yeah.
Because they're increasing the rewards other things give out, they could increase the rewards for that sometime soon. So if you kind of want to spot, what I normally like to do is I'll open mine, and then if I want to spot where I don't really need anything in the chest, I'll wait, and then let's say I'm really low on T4, T5 gear, then I'll open all mine, and I'll hold again because I'm now giving myself the chance to open at a higher value. Is kind of how I see it.
Mm-hmm. I will say though, I can kind of see the whole Gear Tier 9 happening because it is the anniversary coming up like in a month, so they could throw a curveball to celebrate. We want you guys to farm a whole set of gears, so good luck with that. So
when that came up on stream earlier, there's a lot of people, like even high-end players, that were like, yeah, I may be out after that. Like, if you're constantly trying to get these new characters, like legendary events, like we had the princesses before, we had Rapunzel, like Raya's gonna be a thing, like now Gear Tier 9, like all right, they're pushing the wallets as far as they can go right now, and they may start losing players.
They gotta add another gear tier. They're just
a
gonna.
matter of time, right?
Yeah.
Maybe the end of this year,
Mhm.
not soon. If it's soon, I'd be shocked.
I think it's soon.
I like for me, I think like January 2022 would be great for Gear Tier 9, let's be honest. That's like, or they have, or maybe like they do it like once a year, like so then like this coming November they're gonna drop a raid and then they're gonna drop that. That would, like, I'd be okay with that because then you'd be like, well, you had a whole freaking year. What were you doing? So that type of thing.
Mm-hmm.
That's how I see it.
The reason, I think they want to keep making money off those whales, those mega whales, the Krakens.
But they throw out enough characters that they can deal with the Gear Tier 9.
Are bored. They need something to do.
But
give them another gear tier.
They have enough characters coming out like every freaking week that they can catch. They don't need to worry about that kind of stuff.
This.
Okay. Man,
could you imagine? Oh man.
Yeah. I can vividly imagine them adding a gear tier soon.
I'm not ready for it. I barely have enough gear
tier at all. No.
I think we know what time it is now. It is time for Ooh, am I? So this week, hopefully, you don't get an L. Apparently, I'm not allowed to look at the stream chat, which I think is, that's just not fair. I think teamwork makes the dream work.
Welcome everybody to DSA Among Us. Or who am I? Not Among Us.
That's tomorrow.
Sorry. Chat me got me all flustered. Okay. Welcome to DSA Who Am I? It's the game where I'll be giving out clues to a character that's currently in DSA. We're gonna start with question 1, go all the way up to question 20. The questions start off pretty difficult and they get easier as they go. There's gonna be questions that are interlaced between DSA and the actual film that this character is from. The rules are Dragon and Sky are going to try to get out as soon as they can. If they think they know what the character is, they're going to message me individually on Discord. And then chat, you're more than welcome to play as well. And also chat, feel free and look at Dragon's eyes during this segment to make sure they don't wander back.
Well, good thing my freaking camera's not focusing right now. That makes it really good.
Watch for the wandering eyes to see if he starts looking at Twitch chat for help. So current record is, by the way, let me pull it up, is 3-1 by Sky High. Let's hopefully we don't have to implement a mercy rule coming up. So first person to get out with the right
What is
answer
this?
does get the game, does win the game for this week, and then you only get one guess. So no Woodies spammed on my screen.
Watch it be Woody this week too.
All right. So far, we've had Robin Hood Syndrome, Horn King, Kronk. Here we go this week. Are you guys ready?
Yes.
I'm ready.
Okay. Watch Dragon's Eyes during this. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. My film has a 93% on Rotten Tomatoes. 93%. Question 2. My Disney film is based on a Hans Christian Andersen fairy tale. Question 3. My basic ability can hit multiple enemies. Question 4. There are more than 2 other characters from my Disney film in DSA. Question 5. My film is the first Disney film to be based on a fairy tale since Sleeping Beauty. Question 6. I can purge a helpful effect with one of my special abilities. Question 7. Sky is out at 6. Question 7. Aside from my main character, my voice actor also voiced a character from the Toy Story series. Question 8. My character in DSA is a humanoid. Question 9. My character's name is also the name of is a name in a William Shakespeare play. My character's name is also the name in a William Shakespeare play. Question 10. I can give bonus speed meter to a teammate. Dragon focused right now. There we go. Question 11. My Disney film won 2 Academy Awards, one for original song and one for original score. Dragon is out at question 10. Dragon's out. Question 12. I appeared in a 2D Disney animated film. Question 13. I can give offense up to a teammate. Question 14. Some DSA players will equip another gem on my character aside from speed or offense. Question 15. My Disney film is considered part of the Renaissance era. Question 16. I have a leadership ability. I have a leadership ability. Question 17. You can purchase my tokens in the tournament exchange. Question 18. I am a Disney princess. Question 19. My character was a DSA starting character. In question 20, I am the main character in Juice's favorite Disney film. Sky was the first to get out at question 6. His guess Ariel. He is correct.
I really freaking hate this game.
Dragon got out at question 10. His guess, Anna.
I should have known when it was purged. I should have known it was freaking.
It was not Anna. We did have someone in Twitch chat got out super early, I think before Sky, maybe around 4 or 5. Walt Booth V. Dude, killing it. See, I saw some Moana's in chat. Ariel came from Steve. Good job, Steve.
I think Steve and you were close. I'm not sure who got between the two of us, but Walt definitely beat me by like a lot.
Walt destroying it. What he did is he took what I said and copied and pasted into Google. Took him right to the
my
Oh, he definitely Googled 93% Rotten Tomatoes Disney movie.
All right. All I'm gonna say is, Dragon, you mentioned one time on stream that there was a person in your Sorcerer's tournament that was running Oceanics. They were running Ariel, and you couldn't kill him because Ariel kept healing. I thought you would get it, dude. Come on.
So like, no, that team is freaking crazy. It's Ariel, Prince, Eric, and Triton, and then you have Anna and Elsa. This is before Sensational 6, by the way, as well, and Beast. But that team was freaking fire, and they were geared tier 8. And I was like, whoa, this team is so good. And then yeah, they really surprised me. But yes, wait, yeah, I really suck at this game, to be honest. Like I just yeah. But Walt, here's your gems. Fist pump. There you go. There's your gems.
I was kind of stuck on Merida for a little bit
Yeah.
because the multi-hit basic is really what I was thinking about.
And it's tough because I was looking at that and like, no, Hero does that, Go-Go does that. So there's more characters that hit multiple enemies too. So you got it, dude. Nice. That's good. But Sky at 4 wins, Dragon at 1 win. Dragon, you'll come back. Don't worry. And the thing too, I think, and you may have to correct me, doesn't Ursula's basic hit, or not Ursula, doesn't Ariel's basic hit multiple people if they have slow on them?
If they've slow on them, yes.
Yeah, I forget that. I forget that a lot too. So that may have been a too easy question at the beginning, but if you know a lot about the game, then you got it.
Well, apparently it doesn't
Same
work
with
for
the
me. I
Triton's
always get it
Boon.
wrong.
The Triton's Boon gives offense and a speed meter, so I separated into 2 questions, but technically that buff does give those Triton's Boon does give those buffs. That is DSA Who Am I? 2 weeks from now, we'll have another character and see if Sky can increase his lead by to 5-1. Dragon needs to start doing his homework.
I just need to like, I don't know. I need the answers beforehand or something. Or the questions beforehand. Well, guys, there you go. That's going to be the episode for the week, and hope to see you guys next week as we're getting closer to the 1-year anniversary of DSA. So maybe we'll see some things pop up as we get closer to that. Maybe we'll see some Ryan the Last Dragon news possibly in the next week. So on behalf of Juice, Sky, and I, thank you guys, and we'll see you guys next time. Have a good one, guys.
Peace.
See you in 2 weeks.